All right. Hey guys, welcome to this rather rainy day workout here in North Carolina. We're having flash flood watches. So, what better day to be inside in our home gym doing our strength workout? No need to go out and get soaked today. All right, so we're going to get started right away. Just a couple things about what you will need. You're going to need for this workout I'm using my box, but you can also use a chair, just a sturdy chair or a stool. So if you don't have one nearby, go ahead and pause, go grab you a good chair or box or something that you can sit on that's about, chair height. Okay. So you'll need that. We will need a weight and, well, let's say a few weights. So the weights that are at the lower end, just have them nearby. So like maybe a 5 pound or 8 pound, 10 pound up to 12 pound weight. You have those close by. That should be just about everything that we need. Okay. So if you're if you're ready, let's get started. We're going to start with just some really simple mobility work. Okay. This is We're going to start with our head. Just a quick roll. And we're going to start right now. My stance is just easy. Okay, so go ahead and join me. We're going to do this for 45 seconds, rolling the head in one direction. All right. And this is a really small movement. It doesn't need to be really a big old head swing, just a small, nice rotation of the head. You can close your eyes if you like. We call this in the yoga world the joint freeing series. So bringing some just good rotational movement into the joints helps to get the lymphatic juices moving, kind of like a lubrication, of our joints in a gentle way. All right, that's 45 seconds. So now pause and then start the other direction. And let's go 45 seconds in the other direction. Again, just a nice gentle rotation of the head. There's no real technique here. Just take it easy. And I am watching my stopwatch for you here. About 15 more seconds. And 5 more seconds. And end. All right. So now we're going to take those rotations into the shoulder. So you can start going front, first, up, back, and around. And go ahead and begin. Again, 45 seconds here, going in one direction. These can be as small as you want to make them. This does not need to be a big movement. And in fact, it's almost better, or is better, to do a small movement here because we are not warm. And so we're not trying to push to our edge. We're just sort of waking up the body, waking up the juices, waking up the joints before we start to load and do more intense work. And we got about 10 more seconds here. Yeah, 5 more seconds. And then end. And then let's go ahead and begin the other way, starting back, up, and front, and down. Again, just using some nice small movements here. If you get tired, you can just pause for a few seconds and then rejoin, okay? This is easy. Starting out easy, working up to our climax. And keep going. You have about 15 more seconds. Keep going. And 5 more seconds. And finish. All right, last joint we're gonna do the same thing with rotation wise is our wrists. So just let your arms kind of hang relaxed and just do a really small rotation with the wrist. And the trick here is to only do the wrist. So we don't want to be engaging the full arm or the elbow like I'm doing right now. This is what you do not want to be doing, what I'm doing right now. It's just an isolated movement in the wrist like this. Okay. And same thing here. You're going to keep going for about 45 seconds. So go ahead. If you have not already started, you should have started by now. I'm giving you 35 seconds. Okay. This is really subtle movement, but surprisingly impactful in terms of reducing tension and getting our joints mobilized. And we just start at the top of the body in a situation like this where we just have, a short period of time to do our workouts. We've got to make this quick and efficient warm up, right? So by starting with the top of the body, the head, the shoulders, the wrist, go ahead, stop, and now start the other direction with your wrists. Doing this, we kind of get that trickle down effect from the head all the way down to the feet. So if you had a lot of time, you could spend time doing this action for every single joint in the body. If you did that, you'll be doing the whole joint freeing series from the yoga world. It is a really lovely thing to do when you've got time. Okay, 15 more seconds. Again, you can pause if your wrists are getting tired. This is also a nice compensation for those of us who have to sit and type for a good portion of the day or drive, and that's it, 45 seconds. All right, so that was it. Super easy, right? So now join me on the floor. Okay, we're just going to lay down on our backs. We're going to do a little bit of core work, and then we're going to work our way out from there. So I will demonstrate this for you first, and then I'll just talk you through doing it, okay? So just watch me for a second. So I'm on my back. I want to make sure that my low back is not pressing into, I'm not curling into the floor. My spine is just neutral. So the back of my pelvis is firm on the floor. The back of my rib cage is firm on the floor, but there's no pressure here on my low back, the low spine. Back of the head firm on the floor. I'm not pressing my chin down or pressing my neck in. Just easy, relaxed position here, okay? So I'm going to want to maintain this. We call this neutral spine. I'm going to maintain this position of the spine while I'm doing my core work. And it looks like this. So I'm going to extend the right leg forward and the left arm back. All right, so we're going to be doing some cross-lateral movement here. So I'm going to begin to lift up off the floor a few inches and then start to draw some boxes with my hand and my foot. So I'm going down, out, up, and in. Down, out, up, and in. And then I can reverse that, go up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in. Okay? So it looks really simple, right? And it is simple, but it's not necessarily easy. But this is a great work for activating our core and getting that cross-lateral coordination with the body before we begin adding weight or adding load onto the body. So when I'm lifting up, just a quick advice here. I want to think about threading the front of my ribs together and just gently drawing my low belly in. Because like I said, I don't want to crunch my abs. I don't want to crush my low back down into the floor. I want to keep my spine neutral here. So I'm lengthening out of my leg, lengthening out in my arm, and then I'm drawing into the center of my rib cage here to support this movement, okay, in my limbs with my core. Okay, So go ahead, come down onto the floor, come down onto your back, get yourself set up. I'm going to talk you through this. So you can use your hands to place them in your behind your low back for just a moment, just to check in, to feel that you got that neutral kind of, there's a nice curve or arch in the low back. The low back is not pressing into the floor. All right. Once you're clear about that, then extend your right leg long, extend your left arm overhead. And then when you're ready, start to draw your low belly in. And like I said, feel the front of the ribs threading together as you lift up. Extend your right arm and right leg and left arm out of the joints. And then begin to see if you can draw those little boxes. And it doesn't matter which way you go. You can go in, out, up, down, just making those little boxes with the arm and the leg. Supporting the spine, supporting the center of the body with your core, but keeping that spine in that nice neutral position. And then once you feel fatigue start to come in, go ahead and stop. Okay. Take a breath. Just bend both knees, put both feet on the floor, relax your arms at the side. Take another breath. And then let's try the other side. So left leg long, right arm overhead. And then when you're ready, again, start to lift up, threading the front of the ribs together. Draw the low belly in. Start to draw your little circles or squares. Trying to maintain stillness in the spine, neutral spine, while you allow freedom of movement in the limbs. It takes some coordination and it takes some practice. And again, once you start to feel fatigued, stop, come to a rest point. Just bend both knees, let both feet be on the floor, relax your arms by your side. And then we're going to do that one more time on each side. So if you're ready to begin, go ahead and go back to the right leg long, left arm long, right leg, left arm. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lift up and take a few moments to, again, draw those squares. Try going in both directions. So draw a square in one direction for a couple times and then change it up. And just do that until you start to feel fatigue. Stop and take a rest. Just a couple breaths in your rest position, and then go ahead and move to the other side with the left leg long, right arm long. And again, just find what it feels like to activate your core, make it strong without changing the spine, allowing the spine to be neutral. While then there's movement happening on the ends of the body. This is, it's actually a really complex movement. So once you've finished, just take a pause, again, rest. I'm going to take just a couple breaths and then I'm going to move on to our next exercise. All right, so hopefully everybody feels complete with that. If you don't feel complete, you can always just rewind me and come back. All right, I'm going to move us on to our next little warm-up. So now we are going to start some plyometrics. And the whole purpose of doing this is to put force impact on the bones, which helps support improving our bone density, which is really, really important to me at this point at 44, almost 45, having a history of osteoporosis in my family. Us ladies, hey, we need to be jumping up and down, doing some force impact on our bones, because the truth is, even if we reach that osteopenia or full-blown osteoporosis point, the data and the science shows that you can actually reverse that and build strong bones again with some plyometrics and heavy weightlifting. So if you have no other reason for joining this class than that is a good enough reason to be here. So here we go. Find your chair, and I will demonstrate this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just in front of the chair. We're going to take the arms up on a breath in, and then just roll down on a breath out. And then you're just going to walk out into a plank position. Hold it for a few breaths. Then you're going to walk back, coming back to your feet, bent knees here, okay, as I'm hanging over. And roll up. Then I'm just going to take a seat, and I'm going to ask you to do 3 to 5 sit to jump. Sit to jump. Sit to jump. And if you can do 3, great. If you feel like you've got 5 in you, even better. Okay? So we're just going to do a few of these to get our bodies going. Start adding a little bit of load before we start picking up any weights. So go ahead, get yourself into position with your chair. I'm going to walk you through this, okay? So you don't have to watch me doing it. Position in with your chair. Feet are about hip width apart. Feel your legs activate. Feel your feet broad on the floor. And then on an inhale, reach your hands up overhead. As you exhale, start with the head. Roll all the way down. Hanging over the legs, bend your knees, and then walk yourself out into your plank. And let's try to hold this for 3 good breaths. Now, in your plank, draw your low belly in. Feel the front of your ribs thread together, just like you were doing in the core exercise on the floor. And then after 3 to 5 breaths here, start to walk your way back. As you walk your way back, bend your knees. And once you're hanging over your legs, just take your time to slowly roll up to standing, letting the head be the last thing that comes. And once you arrive in standing, go ahead and sit down in your chair and begin, again, like I said, 3 to 5 stand to jumps, sit back down. And you can use your hands pushing off the chair a little bit here. You're going to feel your feet rolling and kind of pushing off the floor from the heel through the ball of the foot. Once you've done 3 to 5 sit, stand jumps, then again, begin again. So you're going to start standing, arms down by your side. Inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, roll down. Walk it out into your plank. Hold your plank for 3 to 5 good breaths. Again, like I said, activating your core like we were just doing when you were lying on your back. Low belly's drawing in, front of the ribs are drawing together, and you want to feel your hands broad, arms and legs lengthening out of the joints. That will help support you here. Then when you're ready, walk your way back. Again, bent knees as you roll up to standing. And then once you get all the way up to standing, again, take a seat behind you and start to lift up with the 3 to 5 sit, stand, jump. All right. Good work. Simple warm up. That's it. That's all. Okay. Really simple warm up. So I'm going to demonstrate for you what we're going to do as our strength series. And this also is going to be a really simple but full body workout. All right. So you're going to use your chair for this again. We're going to start with single arm presses. And you can just watch me for a moment before we get started. Single arm overhead press looks just like this. So I've got my kettlebell weight. I'm going to bring it right into my shoulder here. Shoulders are down away from my ears. And simple press up. Arm goes up by my ear, and then bring it right back down into the shoulder. And up and down. Okay, so I'm lengthening the arm up out of the shoulder, and I'm drawing the shoulder down the back. Lengthening the arm in 2 directions, really. And I'm still using my core, drawing low belly in, drawing front of the ribs together. All right, so I want you to choose your lightest weight possible for this. So we're going to try to do 10 to 12 to start. You're going to do 10 to 12 on the right, then you're going to do 10 to 12 on the left. In between, we're going to be doing some lunges. So if you do not have a wall near you, you may want to move yourself close to the wall. Lunge series, very simple. You're going to step back into a lunge. The ball of the foot is on the floor. My hips are facing forward, drawing that low belly in again. I'm going to take a lunge, making sure that my knee does not go out over my ankle. So I don't want to be here. I want to be at a 90-degree angle here and just hovering just above the floor and up. So you're going to do 3 to 5 lunges on the right. Rest a moment in between. And then we're going to do 3 to 5 lunges on the left. Same thing here. Hips forward, watching to make sure my knee doesn't go out over my ankle. Both feet are nice and broad on the floor, spreading my toes, spreading the ball of my foot, heel all to come down and up. 3 to 5 on that side. Then we will repeat, and we will see, if possible, about adding a little bit of weight to our presses as we go along, and maybe adding a little bit of weight to the lunges. And that's going to be based on your perceived rate of effort. So I will guide you as we go. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started. So get with your seat. Find the 5 or 8 pound weight that you're going to start with for this. Once you get seated, I like to keep my feet wide so I can feel myself sitting on my sits bones, nice and tall. Draw that low belly in. Get your weight into your shoulder. And let's go ahead when you're ready and start pressing up. Give me 10 to 12. All right. So, and I will say that if you have not reached 10 yet, but you're getting pretty fatigued, go ahead and stop. All right. This is not a race to any specific number. And everybody's going to be in a little bit different place, and everybody's going to be in a little bit different place on the different days. So once you have hit your final number, either 10 or 12 or less than, if you need to stop sooner, is fine. Then what you're going to do is I want you to set the weight down in between your feet. Set it down. Take just a moment, breath, to let the core soften a little bit. Let the upper body relax. And then go ahead and start on the left side. Same thing on the left. Get that weight right into the shoulder. Activate your core again. And then when you're ready to press up, feel the shoulder moving away from the ear as the hand moves up. Going right up along the line of the ear. And again, 10 to 12 on this side, or till you start to feel fatigue. Keeping that spine nice and long, core activated. And then when you've finished, again, set that weight right down on the ground, right in between your feet. And then let's go ahead and start with the lunges. So again, if you need a wall next to you, then just go ahead, wall or chair, something to balance. If you need some support balancing, okay? Get your feet stepped wide apart. Again, spread through your toes, spread through the ball of the foot. All right, you want to feel your weight on the front foot is starting to go into the heel as you go ahead and lunge. So take 1, and if you can do at least 3 for me, if you can do 5, that's great. So based on where you start to really feel fatigue, that's where you want to stop, okay? So once you get all of your lunges in, just stop, bring your feet together, take a moment, soften, bounce a little bit, rest. And then step your left foot forward, right foot back, nice long stance. Get your feet set up, and when you're ready, go ahead and take your lunges here. Again, just paying careful attention to send your weight into the heel of that front foot and watch your knee. Make sure it's not going out over your ankle. Use your core to support you in balance. All right, good. And then when you're done, come back to your chair, come back to your presses. And you're going to get a few seconds here to rest while I talk about whether or not you want to go to a higher weight. So here's the deal. If you were able to do 10 to 12 presses and you felt like you could have done a few more, that's really fantastic. I want you to choose a higher weight for this next round. If you got to that 10 or 12, but you were really struggling, you need to stay right where you are. I should say, if you were really struggling, or if you were really starting to feel fatigued, not even just not quite struggling, but really starting to feel some significant fatigue, then do the second round using the same 5 or 8 pound weight. And again, as I said, everybody's going to be in a different place and even the same body will be in a different place on different days. So we've got to do 2 more rounds of this. So knowing that this is your second round and you've got a third round after, use that as a way to judge, all right, can I do 10 more with this same weight? Do I need to back down? Maybe just do 7 or 8 with this same weight so that I still can get another round in. All right, this is the kind of judgment you begin to learn how to make the further you go along. So use your best guesswork here if you're not sure. And then, like I said, if you did 10 to 12 with relative ease, meaning you could have done 5 or 6 more with the weight we just did, then I think you've got room to go ahead and move on up. This second round, we're going to aim to do 8 to 10 presses, either with the same weight or with a slightly heavier weight. All right, so grab your weight. Let's get going. Again, I'm going to bring it up to my lap, and then I'm going to bring it into my shoulder. Activate your core, and then when you're ready, again, you're going for 8 to 10 presses, pressing that hand up and shoulder away from the ear. You're feeling length in the arm as you press up, and you should also be feeling length in the spine here. So you want to feel both of your sits bones, both sides of your butt on that chair, and then the spine lengthening up out through the crown of the head so that you've got your whole torso lengthening in both directions, down and up. And once you've completed those 8, again, take a short break in between by placing your weight down in between your feet. Just take a couple of breaths. Let your belly and your spine and your back kind of soften a little bit. And then let's begin on the other side. When you're ready, pick up that weight, get it into your shoulder, activate the core, butt going down, top of the head shooting up, arm shooting up, shoulder shooting down as you press up. 8 to 10 on this side, or to your point of fatigue. Again, judging it based on where your body is today. And it's okay for this to feel hard, right? It's okay for it to feel hard, but we don't want to max out on this round because we've still got another one left. Okay, once you've done with that, get your weight set down and go ahead and get started with your lunges. Now again, you've got 2 choices here. 3 to 5 lunges with no weight, or if you felt like that first round was, you had several lunges left in you, go ahead, pick up your 5 or your 10 pound weight. You're going to hold it right here in front of your chest in both hands to do your lunge. All right, so you guys choose based on where your thighs and your butt are today. If you can add weight, great. If not, totally fine. Get your 3 to 5 lunges in on both sides. Go ahead, start right now if you have not already. Remember, activate your core, active feet, really spreading through the toes, ball of the foot, heel. That will help you stay supported, help you keep your balance. And then take a pause, just let's say 3 breaths to rest in between before you switch legs and go to the other side. Okay, so wrapping up on this side, if you have weight, go ahead, just set it down. And you can sit down on your chair again. We're going to do one more round of both of these, the presses and the lunges. So this round, all right, you got 2 choices, either to do exactly what you just did in the last round in terms of the weight and attempting for the number of presses. You might get to 8 to 10. You might have to do a few less. Okay, again, you want to stop when you've just moved past till you hit fatigue and then you feel yourself moving past, stop. Yeah. The rule of thumb is that we never need to actually max out to our 100% capacity, meaning going as far as we just couldn't do any more after that last one. What we want to do is we want to stay in form. So if I'm lifting and I'm getting so fatigued that it's getting hard for me to hold my form, meaning hold my core together, use the correct arm motion, then I've gone past where I need to be. All right, so I want you to stop before you get to your edge, but when you're feeling pretty close to it. Yeah? All right, it is actually scientific. It is actually a well accepted in the exercise physiology world way of judging how far to push ourselves when we're doing strength training. All right, so just listen to your body. If you can, you want to add some weight to this round again. So maybe go up to a 12-pound weight. That would be fantastic. And in that case, if that's what you're doing, aim for 5 to 7 repetitions. All right. If you can do more, you can do more. And that means you are well on your way to adding lots of weight. But if you can do 5 to 7 with a 12-ish pound weight, great. Or if you're like, nah, I'm going to just stick with what I had last time, that's also good. So let's get started. Go ahead, sit down, get your weight, get yourself set up. Whenever you're ready, go. All right. And again, it's either 5 to 7, or if you can manage 8 to 10, just like you did last time, listen to your body. Okay. Again, using that core to support you, feeling the sits bones, your butt square on the chair or the stool, top of the head lengthening out. And when you finish with that round on the first side, set your weight down, give yourself a couple of breaths. Let yourself soften in the center, and then move on to do the left side. Last round on the left side here. This is really good work. Really good work for the whole body, just with these simple two simple compound movements. So once you're done with the left side, okay, again, set the weight down for the last time. Go ahead, stand up and begin your lunges. And again, you can add weight here if you'd like to. Even if it means you only do 3 lunges with a little bit heavier weight, that's an option for you. And then again, like we just did with the presses, if you want to just stick to what you did on the last round, that's also fine too. All right, so again, judging what your body's saying, go ahead and move into your lunges, get them knocked out, do them with good form, and know that you are doing good work. Good work for your body. If you're still in your lunges, just a reminder again, that footwork, that spreading, that broadening through the foot, it's so important. So important to make your lunge feel more stable, and also to really work all those little tiny muscles around the feet and the ankles and the knees that actually help support us in our balance. All right, and then wrapping up. All right, so that was it. So I would be curious to hear how you're feeling. If you want to leave me a comment after this class, I'm going to guide you through a quick cool down if you are in a situation like I'm in today where you can't get outside and walk. But now if you can get out and walk for just 5 or 10 minutes, I would suggest that that is the best way to kind of cool down and integrate all the work that you just did. So you can say, see you later, Sarah. I'm going for a walk. See you next time. And I will say, peace, go. If you want to stay here with me for a few more minutes, I'm going to go ahead and guide you through just a quick cool down. All right. So let's do that. For those of you staying with me, for those of you walking, happy walk. Those of you here, we're going to reach up, hands overhead, take a breath in, and then we're going to just fold over the legs, bend the knees a whole lot. Let your head be heavy when you arrive, and then roll up to standing slowly, letting the head be the last thing come up. And then we're going to do that again. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then exhale, fold over the legs, bend your knees a bunch. Let your head be heavy when you get to the bottom, and then roll back up. One last time. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then slowly roll down, bend your knees a bunch. Yeah, good. And then we're just going to walk back out into that plank position that you were in earlier, holding it just for a second. You can go ahead and bring the knees down, come into a tabletop position. So like I'm getting ready to do like a cat and cow, and that's actually what we are going to do here. So my hands are just under my shoulders, knees under the hips, hands are broadening, feet are broadening, and then as I exhale, I'm just going to round my back, letting the top of my head and my tailbone come down. And then inhale, I'm going to drop my belly down, my chest down, lift the top of my head and my tailbone towards the sky. So just move with your breath here. Just a gentle cat and cow to move the spine some. One more. All right, good work. So now you're going to come down onto your belly, and you're going to bend the right knee out so that it's out at a 90-degree angle from the hip. Okay, and then you can just come up onto your forearms here. So you want to let the hips relax towards the floor. All right, the low body is just totally relaxed here. And then we're just going to do some cat and cows here, just with the upper back. So just the rib cage, I'm rounding up and letting the head come down. And then I'm going to draw the rib cage forward, kind of through my forearms. Make sure your hands are broadening on the mat and your elbows are just under the shoulders here. And then just take a few cat and cow here. Moving again with your breath in whatever way feels good to you. Doesn't matter. Exhale, inhale, which movement you choose to do on the in or the out breath. Just do whatever feels good to you. Okay, and final breaths here. And then we're just going to come down and rest. So you're just going to let your arms go. And make sure my speaker is okay here, my mic. So if you can turn your head in the opposite direction of the knee that's bent. So you got your right knee bent out to the side. So you're going to look over to the left, turn your head to the left. If that's really hurting your neck, don't do that. Look over the knee that is bent. So basically, position your head in a way that you can just rest here for a few breaths. And we're just inviting the body to recognize that the time to put a lot of effort in is come to an end. And you can just let gravity do the work now and just relax. Let yourself start to soften. Muscles start to let go of tension. Let it all just drop into the floor, into the earth. And just feel your breath moving in the body here. You're probably feeling a pretty nice little gentle stretch in the hip, the lower back here in this position. All right. Last seconds on this side. And then I'm going to gently extend that bent knee back, lengthen both legs behind me, and just turn my head and put it on my hands here so that my forehead's facing the floor. And then I'm just going to kind of gently rock my hips side to side. Just a little wiggle. And then come to stillness. Then we're going to do all that on the other side. So take your time, just gently bend your left knee out to the side and then come up onto your forearms. Again, elbows just under the shoulders, broaden through your hands, and just take a few cat and cow here. Again, just the rib cage is moving. You want your hips, your pelvis, your legs all to be heavy, relaxed, so that just your ribs are moving here, just the very, very top of the spine and the head. And again, just moving with your breath in and out in whatever way feels natural and good. And last breaths here. And then again, just let yourself come down onto the floor. Turn your head one direction or the other, whichever way feels most comfortable. And then just breathe. Let things start to soften. If you start to notice a place in the body where you still feel some tension holding on, like in the shoulders or in the hips somewhere, you can just use your breath, sort of direct it towards that space. And as you exhale, just invite those muscles to take a breath, relax, let gravity take over. All right, final breath here. Then on an inhale, just use that in-breath to extend the left leg long behind you. Turn your head so that your forehead's facing down. Again, you can just rest it on your hands. Fold your hands underneath your forehead. And maybe rock the hips a little bit side to side. All right. And that's it for me, folks. So I hope you'll remember that little series, because you can do it at any time. If you've been sitting for a while, you're starting to feel stiff or sore, it's a great compensation for that. So good work today, and I will see you hopefully again later this week for our second strength training session. Congratulate yourself. You did an awesome job.